Travis Wingoodsell. Over conference weekend, Anderson spoke with a tease, claiming that he is going to reveal his prophetic vision when it comes out on the church website for conferences. When his talk gets posted, it's going to have the text with additional prophetic insight that he himself was involved with a mentally retarded person who was drugged by Nazi psychologists. Thanking their American liberators, being brought to Utah to drug and brainwash, uses experimentations on humans that they used to do to the Jews in Nazi Germany. Operation Paperclip. MK Ultra. But we're already called LDS. That used to be the running gag in movies. Doing LDS as a drug. And so you have Karl Marx, religion is the opiate of the masses, Mormons are the LSD of the masses. Hilarious. It's always fun when people reference Mormons. I caught one the other day, over the weekend, I think, last week. So again, heads up, Mormons. Last week, I, in advance, again proved Anderson needs to stand down and step aside, because I beat him to the punch. I am the seer, the prophet, the revelator, the translator, with the keys of Moses and the direct descendant name and lineage. Anderson ain't got nothing on me, and I'm about to show it to you because it was in the news last night. Last week. First, scripture. Oh, boring. Mosiah, chapter 8. Why are you Mormon? Why? If you think this is boring, your own scripture, Keystone, the sacrifice that Joseph Smith made with his blood and life to give you the Book of Mormon. Why are you Mormon if you don't want the Book of Mormon? If you don't want to follow it? If you don't want to study it? God, Mormons. Mosiah. Anybody been following me lately? I, as the translator, not the Mormon apologetics, translated Mosiah for you and showed you his identity as the first pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, David Moses's. Yah, Moses, Moses, Yah, Mosiah, Yah, Mose, Mos, Yah, the Hebrew God, Elijah, Mosiah. I still have to work on getting you to understand it's not literal history. Chapter 8. Ammon. Ammon El? Yeah, a variation of it. I think the Brits, or no, not the Brit. The Brits use Amun. One of the other European countries use Ammon for their Egyptologists. It depends on your accent from where you're living. Teaches the people of Limhi. This is Bruce R. McConkie, who put it in the footnotes. And he knows no better now than he did then. In case you missed his final talk at conference. Talking 2 weeks later. Under a sign in the heavens, even. Bye-bye. Nonetheless, he wrote these. All the chapter headings were by Bruce R. McConkie. All the errors are by Bruce R. McConkie. He learns of the 24 Jaredite plates. Ancient records can be translated by seers. Now, what does each of the living prophets of Jesus claim to have as mantle titles? Seer, prophet, revelator, but not translator. There's Bruce R. McConkie, who, yep, back in his day, no translator. Go back to the conferences and watch. The sustaining vote. No translator, huh? Because we're seers. It comes naturally to us, but it's our official position with President Benson's first presidency statement that we're not translators, and we're not going to do it. We're not even going to learn. We're not even going to try. On the King James Version of the Bible, Article of Faith number 8, he quotes it and then says, so what? We're not going to do it. Bleep you all, Mormons. Bleep you all. The gift of seership exceeds all others. That's Bruce R. McConkie's words. As a seer, only as mantle title. Bruce R. McConkie is saying, I have the gift of seership which exceeds all other gifts. The word exceeds is not in the text. Bruce R. McConkie with his bloated head put it in. And so then he puts in the wrong date. About 121 BCE. Did you watch that video and put a thumbs down on it yesterday? Why are you Mormon, Mormons? Why? Oh, right. Oaks came out and said, we worship Lucifer. You have to love him. He's the first commandment of the 10 Commandments. Yeah, I've been telling Mormons this the whole time, but you've shut me up. And then you come out and tell Mormons, and then not even the Salt Lake Tribune caught it? Oaks declares the love of God for peace. No, he said adversary. Love your adversary. Adversary in Hebrew is Satan, from which we get the devil Lucifer. They've really got you stupid, Mormons. They have indoctrinated and brainwashed you so severely that he just said he's Lucifer. Because in case you missed it, he keeps saying Jesus is the head of the church. I'm president, Dallin Harris Oaks, with section 191, or not 107, at 91 and 92 verse, oh my God, in which the head of the church is the president of the church, and that only him, not his 12, are a seer, prophet, revelator, translator. And yet, you missed it, despite my pretty pictures showing you what he said. I'm the president, but Jesus is the head, the president. So, therefore, Oaks and Jesus are one. Not just one in purpose. One. Jesus is in his brain. And he's telling you to hurt yourself and to hurt others. Because Lucifer is Jesus, to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name. Verses 2 through 4 of section 107. The protocol for Melchizedek priesthood. So he's talking with King Limhi. King Limhi escaped with some survivors from Armageddon by the Lamanites that had Noah burned in the same manner that Abinadi was burned by tiki torches. See, if you're not studying your Book of Mormon as a Mormon, oh, you are missing out so much. Because they don't say tiki torches in the text. They say another word for which those who hold tiki torch rallies say quite frequently about other people. And Mormons won't study. I'm not going to do it. No, you can't make me. No, I'm not going to read. No, I'm not studying. I'm not checking what the prophets just quoted. Wrong. I'm going to obey them regardless of how my interpretation interprets it. And so yeah, he talks about Zenoth when he apostatized and left the church. And found some ancient records of the Jaredites. And so he's then asking him if Ammon knew of anybody who could translate the language or interpret languages and thus translate the 24 pages of whatever it was, plates, cave paintings, whatever. And so he says that King Mosiah can do it. He's got the Urim and Thummim seer stones, rocks, 24 plates, filled with engravings, pure gold, just like Nephi's plates. The gold plates lay hidden deep in a mountainside. See, that screws up the lyrics. The gold plates lay hidden. Instead, they put golden for primary kids to indoctrinate them in falsehood. So, buildings in ruins, the people dead, the bones of men, beasts, covered the ruins of broken down disaster, utter destruction. You want to know what happened to these people? What's this record? What's on it? How did these people die? Because they didn't listen to Jesus Christ because of their wickedness. And so Jesus didn't show up for the second coming. What? D. Todd, I have some questions. Jesus showed and destroyed the Jaredites. But you're now saying that we can continue to be wicked and Jesus will never show? And again, Mormons missed it. They're so sure the living prophets of Jesus are true, they miss everything that goes on from the mouths of the living prophets of Jesus. Did you know that I covered in video? No, you don't, because you didn't watch. YouTube shut me up. The living prophets have changed the doctrine of Mormonism for the atonement. See, growing up, I was taught from scriptures that the atonement involves two events of the living Jesus in mortality. the Garden of Gethsemane, we add that Christians, Luke has the passage where he bleeds, but not from every pore, just great drops of blood. But in Mormon theology, it's every pore, and that Jesus, in that moment, in the Garden of Gethsemane, atoned for the sins of mankind, if they would hearken unto his commandments. And in so doing, they then become heirs of the celestial glory, specifically the highest degree of the celestial glory, which Brigham Young changed to polygamy, child bride polygamy. Are Mormons obeying when Nelson made the change in 2019? No. So again, why are you Mormon? You're not reading and studying your Book of Mormon. You're not listening to the living prophets of Jesus. You're getting mad at me for quoting them. And excuse your ignorance by saying, well, we don't like your tone. You lied in that short little video clip that wasn't real. I'll try to remember to bring that up. Oh, Mormons. And so now, as was made very clear at conference by multiple living prophets of Jesus, Gethsemane was only for him to be arrested, to get locked up, to get raised up on a cross that didn't exist in the Roman period time, to kill himself on the cross, because nobody kills me. I took my own life to save all mankind, buried in a tomb, and then with the great powers of denial of physics, resurrected myself from the grave. For the zombie apocalypse. And now, because of that, the righteous only, not the wicked, can be resurrected after they're dead to live in the highest degree of the celestial kingdom. That's the new Mormon doctrine. In case you missed conference, in case you missed my videos leading up to conference, where I exposed it with a pretty picture. Why are you Mormon? Even if you hate me and you don't believe me, why are you still Mormon? It's not the Mormonism I grew up in. I did all the videos since Nelson took over and started destroying the church. No more high priests? What the bleeping hell? No more home teaching? Oh no, there's no phone communication in case of a national worldwide pandemic. And then he can't translate worth a lick? He can't read the words that are written in our canon of Scripture? Yoke yourself to Jesus? Chief cornerstone of the cornerstone? What the bleeping hell are you talking about, Nelson? And none of you caught it? Why are you Mormon? Why? I want to belong, because fascism is about binding yourselves to Jesus, because that's Oaks. He's now the president. It's bind yourself to Jesus, not yoke anymore. That's why. Fascism. Hail Hitler. Hail Satan, full of grace. Bleep you, Travis. Bleep you. Religious freedom. We need to take away agency and commit crimes and sins. Religious freedom. Leave us alone. You can leave the church, but we will never leave you alone. I lost count of the number of Mormons who posted a comment of that. You can leave the church, but you'll never leave us alone. The question is not that, but why haven't you left? Dear God, Mormons. So verse 13. Now Ammon, Emmanuel, Mosiah, Moses Yah, keys of Moses, to be the head of the church, said unto Limhi, I can assuredly tell thee, O king, of a man, not an immortal deity who defies the laws of physics. Amazing, who can translate the records, for he has wherewith that he can look. Seer stones. I don't think you can see them. Yeah, no, they're behind the camera. And they're called interpreters. No man can look in them, not even the quorum of the 12 apostles. And yet, Bruce R. McConkie, seer exceeds all gifts and powers. Right there, he says, only the head of the church with the keys of Moses, whose name is Emmanuel and is a literal descendant, can translate with the gift and power of God with seer. This high gift from God. And the king said that a seer is greater than a prophet. Ammon said a seer is a revelator and a prophet. And a gift which is greater can no man have, except he should possess the power of God as a literal descendant of King David Moses III, from the 18th dynasty David Moseses, founded by Mosiah. So again, priesthood protocol that Joseph Smith gave in section 107. I was tongue-twisted in the beginning. Right there. This church is false, Mormons. The Book of Mormon confounds them. And that's what Benson said the Book of Mormon does, is confound false doctrines and religions. And yet, there he was, the leader of the false, great and abominable church of Lucifer Christ of Latter-day Saints. Hail Satan. Shout at the devil, Mormons. Shout at the devil. Shout, shout, shout at the devil. Do you know how humiliating it is for my born-again Christian peers to have been right? Humiliations galore. Tom Jones, Pete. God. Humiliation. See, now they're going to think that they're the one true church, even though their one true church had to close down. And Corona High bought it, or took possession of the land and the building, with a cross that was no longer there because it fell on the parking lot cars. Oops. Are you going to pay for the damages, Pastor? Let God prevail? Jesus just told me you have to pay me for the damage done to your vehicles, otherwise Jesus is going to smite me down. And oops, videos got leaked of me recording my wife doing the pool boy. Oh. When are mankind gonna wake up and smell the burnt flesh? And so, a seer is a revelator and prophet also. But a seer can know of things which are past, and also things which are to come. And I am adding, as the seer, things that are current. Nephi, in 3rd Nephi, exposes this, as he exposes who murdered the king sitting on his throne. He knows what's going on right now in government news. I told you, I'm leading up to it. Scriptures are boring. Get to the point, Travis. Fine, the point of every single video of mine, the church isn't true. Amen. And amen. So your spiritual witness feelings can deny church is true. I feel it with every fiber of my cereal. I went and bought fruit juice for breakfast, and then I forgot to get breakfast. I was there at the sausage. I was thinking, I'm in the mood for sausage. I'm looking at it. I'm going, yeah, well, okay, yeah, I'll come back. I didn't come back. Crap. I was going to get cereal like last month. I got spoiled with Lucky Charms last month. I want more. I'm addicted. Dr. Psycho from Nazi Germany, give me drugs to handle my addiction. So that Big Pharma can get more money for their stocks, and the church, who's the major investor in the Big Pharma, can get money too. Yeah, oops, leak, spoiler alert. Yep, that's what we're heading to. I did it again, YouTube, Google. Thanks to you, you are no match for me. And so all secrets are manifested by the seer. Hidden things shall come to light. Things that are not known publicly shall be made known by them. Nobody hides from me, Oaks. That otherwise could not have been known unless there was a leaker that Trump purposely leaked and claims he's gonna lock him up. Hilarious. Hilarious. So it is only Midas touch that I caught on to what's going on with the news story yesterday about Secretary of War Profiteering Pete HEGSETH. I've already made the pretty picture last night. And remind every Mormon about conference that they missed. So So the title of the particular video, and they had a short video also, but I don't look at the shorts, 'cause that's, YouTube is being stupid on that. So the video title was HEGSETH Suddenly Becomes Target of Major Investigation. And they're breaking it up. Some words are regular case and others are all caps. And that's maybe what I need to do. Maybe that's why I'm not getting views. Maybe if I made that change on my video titles, I'll get more views from you. Oh no, wait. Still, to this day, after they made the change, I have to pay YouTube for maybe more views. It's an extortion racket on YouTube. An extortion racket. In case Mormons don't know what an extortion racket is, it's called a crime. It's illegal. And because YouTube crosses borders, not just of states, but of countries, yeah, it's an international crime. That YouTube is involved with, and the government's not shutting them down, despite them losing the lawsuits for addicting kids. It's the algorithms, you dumbass parents. Quit listening to your Nazi psychologist of your kid that's drugging your kid with Adderall and ADHD drugs when they're just teens. They're just kids. Just stop it. Leave them alone. You don't want them to have tardive dyskinesia when they're Oakes' age. Dear God, the Nazis are evil. So, I wouldn't have caught on, made the connection, had I not done my video content last week and then saw the thumbnail picture. So, we go back in time as the seer that I am to last week before conference. YouTube has now permanently tried to cyber terrorize me with a flashing of channel pages because they're asses, committing international financial crimes around the world, extorting creators to pay them to get more views. Midas touch, cave to the extortion demands, the ransom demand. They paid, and they get 447K views for this one video last night when I saw it, which was already at 20 hours ago. So last week, the camera's flashing, and I'm trying to get them to stop, to leave me alone. And so, Google is the only place to report them now. There used to be a YouTube down detector where you can file complaints about YouTube. Nope. Gone. On YouTube, they used to have feedback. Gone. Bleep you. Nobody can complain about us. And so instead I go into the 3 dots, go down to report or help, and then report. So that Google gets it. Google is the owner of YouTube. And so I'm putting in there, hello, flashing into the page. People have seizures. They're not stopping. Last week, they refused to stop at that point. And they can come out with some crap. Well, you need to upgrade to Windows 11. Oh, you mean pay the extortion ransom? Because I know damn well I don't need Windows 11 to access the internet or access YouTube. You are purposely doing this. A human. There is no such thing as AI. It is a consumer fraud and a national security cyber terroristic threat with malware, virus, and malware and viruses programmed into it. Nonetheless, and so I then do a Google search asking that is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as the major stockholder in Google targeting me specifically as a critic. And AI Google came out and said, no. We have safety guidelines on YouTube to prevent people from abuse and criminal activity and neglect and all that blah blah blah. I don't buy it, BS. And said that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not the major stockholder in Google, but BlackRock and the Vanguard company are. And so I did my YouTube video about this and posted from the SEC filing of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because of Ensign Pete whistleblowers exposure. Both BlackRock and Vanguard company. Last week, guys. And so, guess what HEGSETH's investor trading scandal is all about? As the target of a major investigation, HEGSETH investigated. And this is the only place they didn't show this picture. They didn't name BlackRock even. And there it is. BlackRock is Pete HEGSETH's war profiteering insider trading. Not just for him. Remember? He has that app on his phone where he's able to leak classified information of war strategies. Yeah. And boom. Guess what I did last week and then found out last night? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is involved in the insider trading scandal that's going on right now. It's not about protecting Trump. None of it ever was. Pam Bondi was fired. Not for protecting Trump. Protecting the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Not just with the Epstein files. Everybody's a spy for the church. The church has been involved in insider trading. Salt Lake Tribune could only cover that. Why is the church selling so much of their stocks? It's called the pump and dump, guys. You should have investigated. Do you not do that anymore? Do they not teach that at BYU for you to get your job at the Salt Lake Tribune, which is now owned and operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And so now the Salt Lake Tribune has to have a faith-promoting article in it every time? You need to be fair and balanced. Lying is not fair and balanced. Dear God. You only need to do faith-promoting stuff. Ignore the investigations of crimes. That's our local government and local people who are involved in crimes, not the church. Gotcha, guys. Yep. I busted the church for insider trading, as I've already knew they were involved in because they're a major stockholder in the stock market, but this scandal exposed their greater investor trading that's involved, insider trading that's involved, because they own stocks in companies that invest in other stocks that the church also invests in. And as I told you in that video, the church not only gets to count their direct investment in Google, for one example, but also BlackRock and Vanguard's investments in Google that the church has invested in BlackRock and Vanguard company for. And Pete Hegseth is leaking war strategy stuff, just like Nathaniel Rothschild during the War of Napoleon. You know, the late War of Napoleon and Chiasmus in the Book of Mormon. In which Nathaniel, having a bank in England, because as from a Jewish family, they were not allowed to own land in Germany at least, so Amherst, I think is the father, moves his family to England and they get a banking company because that's the only job that they could get. And then everybody blames them for financial banking fraud because of individuals, not the whole people, who are bad actors. And so he then, in that war that Napoleon was causing in Europe, was investing on both sides, both Napoleon and the other country. And so what he did was, right when Napoleon had conquered them, he had sent word back to England through a third party, claiming that Napoleon lost. And so all the bankers adjusted things accordingly, so that when the news actually got back, oh crap, all of the bankers went bust. And thus, Nathaniel, with his bank, was the one true bank. And so he then funded the war in 1812 against the United States, when our Congress said we're not having Europe's bank anymore, or Britain's bank. We're doing away with the central bank, and they were going to have their own bank. And so Nathaniel paid for the Brits to come over to America, and then Canadians burned down the White House, according to Trump. It's now in the history books, literally. Trump's auto Sharpie pen has made it so. Hilarious. So yes, the church is deeply involved in criminal activities to the extreme. So normally for conference, I get thousands of views for at least a couple, if not several, videos. I do pre-show videos a month in advance, specifically titled, for which when conference comes, Mormons are searching YouTube for videos. And this time, with AI programming, they have shut me up. There was only 2 videos. President B. Eyring, Henry B. Eyring, to announce death of President Delano Oaks. It was at 209 views last night. And then millions of Mormons lose their luggage. It was at 100 views. The rest, no. LDS Mormon Church fails, 51 views. Pre-show, 38. Invalid self-sustaining vote, 43. Mormon apostasy, 28. President Dallin Harris Oaks commands to worship Lucifer, 30. President Christofferson, 27. Back in the early days of YouTube, this was never the case. Because in the beginning, I would know that a video was going a normal path by getting 10 views per hour per video that I posted that day. So the first several hours, it would get 10 views per hour. And a breakout video would get more than 10 views per hour. And so the breakout videos were able to last longer before YouTube finally shut it up than the regular videos. And so the regular videos, would get at the end about 100 when it was all said and done. Breakout videos would get up to 1,000, 500 to 1,000. But conference videos, hundreds per video, and then the breakouts, thousands. This was my new normal in the past. But this is how YouTube has now shut me up. I know damn well it's not because the videos are long. I see you watching other people's videos that are hours long. That is not your excuse for me. And yet. And so, in my most popular, number 2, Russell M. Nelson to announce national divorce for LDS April 2023 General Conference. 6.7K views. LDS Church to announce millennial name change at April 2023 General Conference. 5.6K. This one was about the temple text change. Sort of corresponded with conference, but not really. LDS Church President Nelson changes temple text, still gets it wrong. And I think that's the exact same picture that I used for the video that the church wanted me fired and excommunicated for. It may even be the video. It was 7 years ago. 4.4K videos. Notice that a male is battling the serpent Apophis. Who fell, Mormons? A woman, right? Because women are wicked. Evil woman. Witchy woman. See how? Right? Wrong. Check the Book of Mormon. Use your index if you have to. Never does the Book of Mormon say that Eve fell. She went with Adam out of the Garden of Eden, but she did not fall. And now go to section 29 of the Doctrine and Covenants, verses 36 and 40. I think this is the video that I was pressured out of the church. Strengthening Church Members Committee called my bishop, Reed Hammond. Bishop, Travis has a YouTube video that's going against the living prophets of Jesus. Have him take it down. But this would have to be in 2018 in January when the bishop got the call. And so it would be, but it's 2026, 7 years, 2019. So no, this is not the video. But I used the thumbnail picture, I think, is the same thumbnail picture. So this is the very next year after. And I used it for the temple. Which, yeah, again accuses Eve. And I think I still got it memorized. Let's check. Because I'm an apostate. I lost the spirit. Adam, 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 where art thou? I heard thy voice and hid myself because I was naked. Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou partaken of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, of which we commanded thee not to partake? The woman thou gavest me, and commanded that she should remain with me, she gave me of the fruit of the tree, and I did eat. Eve, what is this thou hast done? The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Lucifer, what hast thou been doing here? I have been doing that which has been done on other worlds. What is that? I have been giving some of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil to them. Lucifer, because thou hast done this thing, thou shalt be cursed above all the beasts of the field. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life. Then I will take the spirits that follow me, and they shall possess the bodies thou createst for Adam and Eve. I will place enmity between thee and the seed of the woman. Thou mayest have power to bruise his heel, but he shall have power to crush thy head. Then with that enmity I will take the treasures of the world, and with gold and silver I will buy up armies and beat HEGSETH. False priests who oppress, and tyrants who destroy, with blood and horror on this earth. Depart. Slam! Thank you. Thank you very much. Bleep you, Mormons, for your lack of faith. Yes, Pete HEGSETH. Buy up armies. Insider trading for war profiteering. Ta-da! How did I do that? That's not scripted. This was the changes in 2019 to the temple text. 4.4K views. 7 years. And then the follow-up. LDS Church President Nelson destroys family unit with new temple changes. You can see how primitive my pictures were back then. It's just a picture. And even the family unit one was too high, and so it chopped off the top and the bottom of it. Because I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, James J. Hamula's revisiting for his excommunication from 4 years ago. You'll notice that I've advanced up to putting text on my pictures. With the female president of the Community of Christ, you'll see I even figured out how to have an outline of each of the letters of the text on the screen. I'm learning. And Oh, look at this. 3 years ago, LDS church president reveals Adam-on-Diamond priesthood meeting has occurred. And yet there's still that channel about, has Adam-on-Diamond occurred already? Let's go over speculation of the words of people's talks. Maybe we can find clues and get faith promoting. I'm in this apartment because of the way to perfection that exposes the Danite plot, even though it's encoded with Jesus. And then my conference video, President Nelson, coming days, 3.4K views. And instead, you gotta cut off a couple of zeros, several zeros, and that's my normal views now. You'll even notice that I didn't pay for an upgrade on the movie thing that I had made with Anna Monica. I don't want watermarks, so I had to pay to get rid of it. I don't even use it anymore. I haven't used it. It was intended for the fashion, the female fashion. I'm busy trying to save your lives so that I can't do what I want to do with my life. And what thanks do I get for it? None. None. So, LDS Church First Presidency announces special all-day meeting for Utah Mormons. 3.1K. LDS Church to be permanently terminated. April 2024 General Conference. 3K. Shocking LDS breaking news. LDS Mormons kiss your leaders goodbye. The Vatican Temple. April 2019 LDS General Conference Review, second session, part 1, 2.8K. That was the Russians who were responsible for that. My neighbor was following my YouTube videos back then, and she may still be, but nonetheless, dear God, girl, if you're still stalking me, why? You got me out of the apartment, I'm now here, and you can't leave me alone? Dear God, get alive. Quit taking the drugs that your psychologist is giving you. It's going to be too late now. You're going to go through severe withdrawal symptoms, and with your health conditions on top of it, you'll probably die. Yeah, they compromised you, just like MAGA compromised Hunter Biden to keep the president in line and not do what he was supposed to do and said he was going to do, and he didn't do it, and then delays, and they got away with everything. So Trump, likewise, he's got compromising material, Epstein files, among others, so that Trump does their will. Trump keeps failing. Nonetheless. Oh, there's an interesting one. LDS Mormon Church President, again, see the John Taylor video I did last week. Guys need to really pay attention to me. LDS Mormon Church President Nelson refuses to build New Jerusalem, Missouri. The temple, the thing out there in Adam-on-Diamond. 2.8K views 6 years ago. And now, I found just last week, John Taylor. Ta-da. John Taylor in the Government of God or Faith in Christ Jesus, blah, 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 lie. Where is it? There it is, the veil. The Government of God, page 1852, page 100. But if Zion is never built up, on the next line. I should have expanded it out just that little, but the comma is there. I should have took out the comma, and it probably would, yeah, it would have been up there on the top. But if Zion is never built up, the Lord will never come. That was new doctrine. Because, dear God, Mormons, you don't study Mormonism. I'd have to explain everything for you. And so D. Todd Christofferson, Jesus isn't coming because you're wicked. And yes, that's part of this. Being wicked is not building Zion. And so this is where he got it from. He didn't know about this video. He had not been informed and reported by the Strengthening Church Members Committee of my content yet. Because last week was all the pre-show for conference. They're doing dress rehearsal and preparing. No meetings. Just the priesthood meeting that they replaced the priesthood session for. That's it. Unless they want to come out and confess, yeah, we still hold the Strengthening Church Members Committee meeting, Travis, but not on Friday. Not before conference, not before D. Todd saying, yep, Travis is right again. Not before Oaks, yep, Travis is right again. Everyone, Travis is right again. Travis is right, Travis is right, Travis is right. When is it gonna sink in, Mormons? Just unbleeping believable. So let's find those comments for you. Should I introduce the video first? Like go over it with you, since you're not watching it. Even though it's a breakout 200, or no, that's the 100 one, right? Can't remember now anymore. So now I gotta go back to that one. Yeah, that's the 200 one. President Henry B. Eyring to announce death of President Dallin Harris Oaks at conference. You see that I went over with you. Those videos are my breakouts. It gets Mormons' attention for conference time. And it got shut down and slammed, and that's the breakout video. You have to add a 0 to it for what normally would take place on YouTube. This is how severely I've been shut up. And Joseph Smith makes it very clear, Mormons. And that's why they're shutting me up. Because they don't want you to hearken to my word. They want you dead. And they're getting other people to do their dirty work for them, even if they're not Mormon. Even if they have to go through third parties to get people to do the church's will. BlackRock. And so in that video, obviously I can't do videos of the future. I did past videos where Holland and Nelson died, specifically because of the wording of the specific people that I quoted from. It was Hales, actually, sorry, not Holland. Hales. And so then I put in Dallin Harris Oaks' name. And so it's not President Oaks dies. You have to pay attention to the wording, like I keep telling you to do to Oaks and the other living prophets of Jesus. Pay attention to their words, because at the beginning of this video I did a whole long list of stuff that they have changed in Mormonism and nobody has caught it. This was done specifically, and yes, I am wrong. It was not President Eyring. It was D. Todd Christofferson. He announced it for the solemn assembly, and then for the sustaining vote after that. D. Todd Christofferson, not Eyring. So I was wrong. And so why? Why would Oaks die because of the solemn assembly and the sustaining vote? You haven't been following me, have you? The curse of Joseph Smith. For that, Wilford Woodruff, official declaration number 1. Because you're not listening to the scriptures of Deuteronomy 19:19 for false accusers, or to the law of Purim of the book of Ishtar, the Mesopotamian goddess, over the Jews. Queen Ishtar to the Persian king. It's supposed to be that. I just click on the official declaration. Verse 11. Oh, right. And so the sustaining vote only comes from this also. Verse 9. The vote to sustain the foregoing motion was unanimous. Salt Lake City, Utah, 6th of October, 1890, General Conference. Not posted until 1981. That's why Mormons kept doing it. But this is where we get the sustaining vote from. Wilford Woodruff, that talk. It might have been in Brigham Young's talks or Heber C. Kimball's talks, but that's it. That's the sustaining vote. That's where we get it from. There is no scripture of Joseph Smith. It's not in the protocol of priesthood, Melchizedek priesthood, in section 107. That's a different vote. That's the correct vote. And nobody's doing it. So, verse 11. The Lord will never permit me or any man who stands as president of the church to lead you astray. Oops. Obviously they have. They keep changing church history. They keep lying. They keep covering things up. They keep committing crimes. They kept practicing polygamy in the temples because nobody's supposed to leak it. And then the Reed-Smoot hearings had to occur 10 years later because word got back to Congress. The Mormons are still practicing polygamy. And so Senator Reed-Smoot gets called in to testify. What's going on in Utah? Church is true? Religious freedom? Stop it now! It is not in the program. It is the program. It is not in the mind of God. It's in your mind. Right, Oaks? If I were to attempt that, the Lord would remove me out of my place. Death. This is what I'm referring to in that little video. And Mormons are so far gone from being led astray. As part of the program, in the mind of Jesus, Lucifer, hail Satan, that Mormons don't get it, see it, or want to believe it. And so he, with any other man, right, Bruce R. McConkie, who attempts to lead the children of men astray from the oracles of God. Seer! It's the extreme power! And from their duty. He said duty. Oh my God, Mormons. Oh my God. So yes, I made a pretty picture with just oaks this time. And you're not listening. You're not understanding. The curse of Joseph Smith that I updated with oaks listed. And there's a spot for death. We're waiting for the death date. I'm the president, underlined, Dallin Harris Oaks. Jesus Christ is the head, underlined, of the church. He tells me to lie, steal, murder, and destroy you. Oh, is that a scripture you're quoting, Travis? Yes, it is. Thank you. Finally, somebody who knows things. John chapter 10, verses 1 and 10. Because Oaks last year gave us 5 death threats, and one of them was quoting from John chapter 10, verse 10. But the second half of it, not the first half. And then not verse 1 in context for what was being talked about. Sheep. All Mormons like sheep. Those who have no authority to lead as the head of the church are there to lie to you, to steal, to murder, and destroy you. And so the gift and power of multi-personality disorder, Oaks. Psychologists don't even use that term anymore. I don't know why. That used to be the common thing. That's why I know it as multi-personality disorder. They keep changing the names of their own self-professed, self-fulfilling prophecy diagnoses by which to prescribe a certain type of drug from Big Pharma to run a human experimentation test on you. How did you get your tardive dyskinesia? Oh, I'm bipolar. I take the drugs for bipolarism. I'm schizophrenic. I take drugs for schizophrenia. I have multi-personality disorder. Oh, you're just like Oaks. Wow, so cool. I wish I had a multi-personality disorder and can get those drugs from Big Pharma to give them so much money to thank their American liberators from Nazi Germany, the CIA, bringing them over to Operation Paperclip. LDS. And so yes, this is what I'm talking about with that little 4-minute video. So, did I not do it? I was there to do it. Comments. So, first comment on that video. Grand Mass Lil Farm. Grand Mass Lil Farm. This is a lie! He is not dead! I didn't say he was dead. I said he was going to be announced that he's going to die. You're not listening. Pedophile! pitiful, shameful. Why did you comment? Seriously. Just go away. So Jeff Abbott, wow, missed that one. Oops. Oh, he's trying to say I'm a false prophet. Which is hilarious, because Jeff knows that a false prophet can be tested by their fruits. And yet, he did not run the test on the living prophets of Jesus. This is Mormonism, capsulated in Jeff, with a red shirt also. This is 3 days. I will be bathing today. I will be bathing. There will be a new shirt later on today, depending on when I stop this video. And so, seriously, why this? Questions. It's 100% lie! Exclamation points. And apparently that seriously his mother liked you best. It's just a playlist, and it's from 2023, so it could be an AI fake channel. And then, oh, this was to invalid self-sustaining vote. It says, you simply are not worth listening to. As you did, didn't you, to put that comment? And then, oh, this was in the wrong file. Yeah, YouTube also, as among the many myriad of stuff that they do to me, and I did that video last week or a couple of weeks ago, going over the whole list of the abuses on YouTube, not just to people who view, but to creators as well. And one of them I forgot to point out to you guys is that in my community, where people post comments, that I hold all of them for review for this very reason, for which YouTube does not flag in any of these guys anymore. I do snapshots so that I have a record of everybody who's commented, and if I see your name on the book of the law saying you want to come to Zion, I'm going to report back to your bishop, no, denied. And then you're going to go, why? I don't understand. What did I do? You don't believe. You don't want to come to Zion. I've been posting to save you, to get you to Zion, this whole decade. And you come out with a dumbass comment like this? And among others throughout the 10 years? Hell no. You don't want Zion. You've made that very clear. So your only intention to come to Zion is because everybody's doing it? No, they're not. You are specifically going to be told you have to choose. If you don't want to come, you better not come. Because if you don't want to come and you come because you want to lie, deceive, destroy, murder, and steal, you'll be booted out. And to come means you give up the world. And so if you get booted out of Zion after you chose to come, giving up the world, and then you want to be a dumbass, getting yourself kicked out, have fun with that. And so yes, YouTube, now when I do a snapshot of the picture, thinks it's so hilarious to do a pop-up from the filter to have me select keywords, contains questions, public subscribers, subscriber count, response status, and then the see current filters as default never allows me to click on it. I don't know why it would then post it then. It triggers the filter to do the pop-up. That's them being abusive to me. to cover up and hide the comment as they think they're doing. They just don't understand that when I do that, it already gets the snap into the system so that when it eventually goes through, it gets it, even though the pop-up is instant. But they're trying to keep me from having a snapshot of the comments. I just showed you, it's not working. You're doing it just to be abusive to me. And Oak said you have to love Lucifer and other adversaries for the Brits. This was William Bray, who was the actual person on that one. So then we got some other comments. There's Stanford and Carrie Bell putting in quotes, "Feel the word." I hope, Carrie, you understood the video. You're not supposed to feel the word. You're supposed to run the test by their fruits that the other guy, Jeff Abbott, I think it was, knows you need to do. And so Stanford, both of these were on my President Christofferson conference video. Stanford says, D-Dodd, enough said. Why is he saying D-Dodd? Is it a typing error? No, because he saw the video of where in the previous conference in October, I think it was Anderson again. Anderson is doing the announcement of the sustaining vote in that session. No, Anderson was Oaks. Dallas Harris Oaks. So whoever the guy was doing the conference one in October, he says D-Dodd. It was iron. It was iron, wasn't it? Yeah. And he just kept on going. Was it iron? Or was it somebody else? I'd have to go back and watch again. Nonetheless, enough said, he stepped right into it. All these lawyers leading the church and engaging in their hilarious legalisms, because lawyers know how to manipulate words in court. Just enough to pull fallacy arguments if the other side doesn't call them out on it, but not to the extent where they are violating their bar and licensing to be a lawyer. They know how to manipulate things, to manipulate words, to lead down a certain path, to get you to be convinced that the woman is guilty for committing adultery, and that's why she murdered her husband. Exactly. And so yes, Tyler Robinson last night again made the news. Can't talk their way out of a paper bag. Do not put paper bags over your head. Do not allow kids to put paper bags over their head. It is a safety violation. There is a potential for death. Don't do it. It is not a Tide Pod challenge. They keep failing. Brigham, John Taylor, Wilford, George Albert, Joss, Fielding, Smith Sr., Benson, Hinckley, Monson, Nelson, and now Oaks. All failures. Stanford ran the test that Jeff refuses to do. Can't even accomplish their self-fulfilling prophecies, in quotes. So yeah, Anderson's prophecy, whatever, dude. You ain't got nothing on me. I just put you in your place today. So now sin can stand the second coming of Jesus, not accelerate its arrival. The whole purpose for the Christ is because of wickedness. If mankind were good, there'd be no need for a Christ. It is because of wickedness that there is the atonement. There is the Christ. And you just botched it with Christianity. You don't understand the original concept of atonement. The whole purpose is because of the usurpation of the kingdom, of the church, by the enemy, the adversary. Hail, Satan! Does Jesus have bipolar disorder? Or multi-personality disorder? Or schizophrenia? These are very serious diagnoses, Travis, and you need to stop. Bleep you, Nazis! Let the St. George teens go! They want their freedom! They tried to escape your imprisonment. And so you round them up and get the police to lock them up? Bleep you! They stood their ground. Let them go. They're still young enough that the drugs won't cause the severe damage that Oaks is now expressing. Did you notice his hand at conference on the pulpit? Still shaking on the pulpit to brace it. Maybe resurrection, perfected body and brain aren't all they're cracked up to be. It looks like that's it. There's no more. That's the last one. Yeah. So yeah, Idaho Chick wanted more comment reply videos, and I told her YouTube's shutting me up so people don't comment. But with conference came more views, and more views produces more comments, and so there you go, Idaho Chick. There you go. Alrighty. Oh, we still have Tyler. Almost done. So, going over the notes from last night's news. China is switching to EVs to bypass the oil crisis. Remember during the Biden administration when Trump and Fox were using Hunter Biden as an extortion threat to keep Biden in line? And he tried to push for EVs. Then Trump steps in, the second coming of Trump, and does away with EVs. Returns us to drill, baby, drill. Yeah, it was all part of his master plan. You're not listening. Not even the Antifa press is caught onto this. God. Trump was supposed to do it immediately upon taking over last year. He failed. And so he has to keep trying different ways to accomplish the mission that he has been ordered by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to do. Remember? Not just directly with religious freedom, but indirectly through BlackRock and Vanguard and Google and Microsoft and everybody else that they invest in, compromising them to do their will. And not just the secret combination to coup the government of the United States of America, the Council for National Policy, where Skousen is on the council of Adam on Diamond. Yep. That may have been, most likely was referenced to in that video. Maybe not, I don't know. Been so long since I did it. We were supposed to be in Zion, but Oaks ran a test run in 2020 instead. They're the enemy. They're causing all of this. So yes, the reason why Trump is drill baby drilling, because he knew he was going to eventually be causing an oil crisis. He went to Gaza and still couldn't do it. Despite the cool video of his resort there in Gaza, the Gaza Hotel and Resort of Trump, with women in beards. The guy had no intention of doing it for Trump. It was just something fun that he thought would be hilarious, and then Trump said, "Hey, that's a great idea. I'll post that." He's popular now for his video. But Trump failed with Gaza. He failed. And so this year it's Iran. And he did a test run with Venezuela and AI drug boats. With a new gaming system that came out. A new game for AI. And oh, Iran, not Tran. Yeah, tonight at 6 p.m. Utah time, Trump will resume utterly destroying Iran. And so there's the Pete Hegseth investigation. I even gave the FBI notice. It may be because of me. But I didn't think I got it in before the weekend. I guess somebody caught it. Because sure enough, it was reported. They're investigating. So the FBI learned of the church's insider trading through Google that I said. Sure enough, I didn't find out. So I'm still making things happen to try to save your lives that you don't know about until I do the video that you don't want to listen to. So at General Conference, there was a streaker, apparently. Just Utah Mormons and ex-Mormons. They're God people. And so, the homeless are going to the airport because Sister Homewrecker Mendenhall, Mayor Mendenhall, Sister Homewrecker, has ordered that the police round up all the homeless off the streets. And then pretending that she doesn't want an ICE detention center for them, I mean the illegals, I mean... Do you not see what's going on, people? They're trying to build a Nazi asylum to house 10,000 mentally retarded Utah Mormons. Which, aka the homeless. And so the protest got so severe, oh hell no, that now ICE steps in and has a 10,000 people facility warehouse all ready to go. So the government pretends, oh no, we've got to, I don't think you're allowed, we got to check this. And Sister Homewrecker Mendenhall is the defender of the people and shuts down the water. In case you don't know, even the Salt Lake County Jail has water for the prisoners that have not been tried for crimes yet. You know, due process, Constitution, rights, freedoms, liberties. Any of that ringing a bell? No? So she cuts off the water as a punishment. Yeah, well, they're still going to operate it. It's just the 10,000 are not going to have water. They're going to be tortured. And Sister Homewrecker, Mayor Mendenhall, made it happen. She's pretending to be for the people who are complaining about it, and yet is making it worse on purpose. She is not on your side, people. She's already come out and said where she stands on the issues. You weren't listening. She hasn't changed her mind, even though she did a one-on-one with Harris in Utah. Yay! She turned Democrat. GOP are leaving the GOP MAGA party and becoming Democrats. They'd rather be Russian than, or not be Russian, than vote Democrat. And so now, in between times, yeah, the news also said that they're having sewage problems. Well, Sister Homewrecker Mayor Mendenhall cut off the water supply. That's why you're having sewer problems there at that facility. So the homeless, they're getting rounded up. So they have to keep finding new places to hide out. They've got nowhere to go. And so they've found a new home, as I've been reporting that they are out here in my area ever since it was new. I came here at first, no homeless. And then during that summertime, the homeless, because of me finding this place, learned about this place, and so people were now coming out here. And so, yeah, the underpass, the sidewalk, and the cement things there, clean, pure, wholesome, and delightsome, family value stuff. Oh my God, it is completely trashed because of the homeless. Not just the graffiti, but also other stuff that won't come out of the concrete. I don't even dare try to guess what it is. And fires that they started. The burnt concrete. The homeless just trash wherever they go because they don't give a damn anymore. Their lives are in ruins. And dear God. And so that then gives the perception that the homeless, are as bad as they are and that we need to do something about them and blah, blah, blah. And it's a perpetual cycle that will never end because of it. Like blacks not being educated or women being women. They caused the fall! Blame women! Leave them alone, it was men. So now the homeless are going to the airport. They're finding little nooks and crannies at the airport to hide out in. So they're doing the Tom Hanks thing from his airport video movie, where he's not an American citizen, but his country no longer exists. So he's stuck at the airport, and they're trying to find ways to keep him from existing and living. And my mom said, "Oh, look at how resourceful he is." What, Mom? That is not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is he's trying to survive with the abuse of those in charge. My mom just doesn't get a clue about... Oh my God. Don't worry, boys and girls. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints assassinated my mom after The Way to Perfection in that video that I did. So, no need to worry. But yeah, this morning, going out for my run, I was met right before the underpass by an Amazon employee who's so poor now that he no longer has a car and he has to walk to his job, to the warehouse by the airport. And so I stayed over in the right lane of the sidewalk. And so we're going into the dark tunnel because they're upset with me and refuse to turn on the lights. On purpose. And so you cannot see any homeless person or their trash that they leave behind left on the sidewalk unless you put your eyes over from the lights from the other side, especially vehicles that come into the tunnel coming your way. And so sure enough, we enter into the tunnel together, and I'm starting to catch and surpass them at that point. And pitch black, and I'm going, okay, I don't want to cut them off if something suddenly appears in front of me. And so I put up my hand, especially because there's now a car coming that's making it darker. And so I see, as a result of that, it was actually this hand, but it doesn't matter. I still see the damage that they did to Devin. Dear God, guys, you suck. So even though you let her back and not requiring her to wear long sleeves every time, still you will not allow her to put little signs to her dad. Bleep you, KSL. Bleep you. I saw that. You're not fooling me. So yeah, the red dress she wore, that was only because we dipped down to 32 degrees, freezing temperatures. She gets a pass for that one. Plus it's red. She gets a pass for that one. Nonetheless, so yeah, I see on the ground right in front of my path a blanket, and it's bulging up, and so I can't see well enough to know if there's a homeless person in the blanket, but I know that there's an obstacle in my path if I keep going straight. And so I look back, I've passed them now, and so I cut over to go around the blanket that was there in the sidewalk. And then when I came back, I was able to see it clearly and noticed that no, the police had rounded him up last night. So they were no longer in the blanket, and they aren't taking the blanket with them. Cops don't want to have their baggage taken with them, and so the blanket was left behind. But yeah, it's just, that's how bad it is here in Utah. You know, the reporting of the missing vulnerable adult that mom kept pleading, and only Sarah on ABC4 News was repeatedly reporting this. He's still missing after 3 weeks. And then finally, Sister Homewrecker Mayor Mendenhall forces the police to do their jobs and round up all the homeless. And in the rounding up of the homeless, they found them. What a shocking surprise. They failed to do their job for several weeks, up to a month. And all they had to do was their job, and they would have found them instantly. But instead, thank God for the homeless who took care of that guy. Which means feeding him, giving him a place to sleep, and thus blankets and stuff. The police failed to do their job in Utah, and a vulnerable adult was exposed to the elements for about a month. So that when he goes missing again, yeah, now the cops know to check the homeless streets. And so when he did leave home again soon after, I check on the mother. Is she abusing him? Denying him internet access to porn? To activate him for the Strengthening Church Members Committee. Dear God. So yes, now the airport. The reason why, because I've been doing the videos, I'm willing to bet you the police in Salt Lake City told them this as they told me on the phone. That area is covered by the airport police. It's their problem now. So the police in Salt Lake City, who refused to do their job, is now telling the homeless to go to the airport, to follow the green line to the airport. You will only hear that from me, because I'm the only one who knows and pays attention, because I'm a seer. Dear God. And the Associated Press, listen to this bleep-ass comment. Israel strikes hit Beirut, killing 4 and injuring dozens on Easter. Can you understand why the AP is out of touch with reality? The news. First of all, Israel is defending their existence from Islam, that are 2 billion on the face of the earth. Second of all, Israel and Islam don't celebrate Easter. At best, you should have put Passover. Passover finishes tomorrow night. Dear God, AP, the bleeping hell is wrong with you? For Islam, it's Ramadan, and Christians only is Easter. Just completely out of touch with reality. They're supposed to investigate. They're supposed to report the news, and instead they posted a hate of Israel. I thought you were going to shut them down, Trump. You're failing, Trump. You're not making America great again, Trump. So, in Utah, the Price Police Department is closed. No staff. This is involving a bigger problem. There are a number of smaller police departments in Utah that just can't afford to pay their police well enough to live. And so they then get transferred or get different jobs. And that's causing some problems with staffing issues. And so it's gotten so bad in Price now, Price no longer has a police department. It's closed. And so the people will have to call the surrounding towns to hope that their police will come in and let crime prevail. And so, HEGSETH. Okay, so we're done with Tyler again. So TYT is not only rehashing the bullet from last week, which the Jack Bauer of America, the Kent guy who got fired. No, I resigned. Had exposed that he wanted to investigate the terrorism and the conspiracy behind the Charlie Kirk assassination. He knows there's a conspiracy there. There are some questions that are not getting answered. There's definitely something going on that his department in counterterrorism needs to investigate. And Governor Cox said, no, get out. We got our guy, and he's going to get the death penalty. And Senator Lee steps in, yeah, we're going to publicly execute him. And so the Mormon prosecutor is botching the case. The bullet doesn't match the gun. But there's more. Because of Kent and his interview by Tucker Carlson. And so now the defense, because of this, are now asking the judge, Tony Graff, you really had to give his name? Why is that pertinent to the news? Because he's a Mormon? To delay the preliminary hearing scheduled for May. That's next month. In part because the team has not yet gotten the case files. You mean discovery? And protocols related to these analyses and other evidence from prosecutors. They're refusing to hand over discovery. They're refusing to hand over the case so that the defense can prepare a defense. And it's, I think, KUTV2 that have tried to go to the sheriff's department where Tyler Robinson turned himself in. There's going to be a video. They destroyed it. Evidence is getting destroyed. That's why the prosecution can't hand over evidence, can't hand over discovery. There's no case to prosecute anymore. This is all a cover-up and a conspiracy by Mormons. The Mormon is the prosecutor. The Mormon is Governor Cox. The Mormon is Senator Lee. The Mormon. All involved in the conspiracy to assassinate Charlie Kirk. There's a Mormon that works at the Charlie Kirk company that's now taken over by the wife who is grateful her husband dead because of all the money she's making now. There's a conspiracy to cover up the case. And a lawyer from another channel was interviewed and says, yeah, there's a conspiracy going on. Tyler is the patsy. The world knows this because the world saw the kill shot from that direction, not that. And Mormons have assassinated Charlie Kirk by aiding and abetting in the cover-up of the case. Governor Cox is a co-conspirator. I still have that picture. I called it. You're not listening. And it's the Strengthening Church Members Committee that did the call to force the Mormons involved to do the church's will and punish Tyler for being an apostate, for not paying tithing, for not getting married. Tyler didn't do it. He is being framed. Evidence is being planted. The case is ruined. And they're dragging it out as long as they can. And so, yeah, the defense, they're stepping up and saying, hey, we ain't got anything. And that's why they don't understand that Tyler couldn't have done it because the kill shot came from that direction, not there where the prosecution said Tyler was without a rifle on the roof. Because AI despite the sunglasses and all the shirt stuff. Yeah, there's a conspiracy. They may have even targeted Tyler in advance to use him again to cover up the assassination. Because the church is spying on everybody. Oaks came out in his porn conference saying, we need to spy on people's computers. We need to know what they're looking at. We need to know. We need to have it exposed. We need to compromise people, just like Hunter Biden, just like Trump, just like the little honeypots in Russia do to certain key people in positions that Russia wants compromised to do their will. That's what the church is doing it for, guys. They're a criminal operation. So, yep, it's a big Messerschmitz. And it's supposed to be a German word, but it's not. Apparently, unless Google was wrong when I checked it decades ago. So yes, after my Oaks is Lucifer, notice how I'm being left alone on the video here? 2 hours, no freezing of the camera.